Hello artists! Today we are going to be learning how to draw 3 mushrooms. For this artwork you will need a piece of paper, a pencil, an eraser, and something to outline with. It could either be a permanent marker, a crayon, or a colored pencil. And you also need coloring media to color with. It could be any coloring media of your choice. To begin, I'm going to set all of my materials to the side except for my pencil. And we have the step-by-step directions from artprojectsforkids.org. On the worksheet, the paper is vertical, and there are 3 mushrooms and a snail. However, I want my focus to be just the mushrooms. So I'm going to follow the directions, but I'm going to follow it slightly differently. I'm going to place my paper horizontal, which is side to side, and I'm just going to focus on the mushrooms without the snail. So I'm going to leave one part of this artwork out. So to begin, we are going to start with the mushroom that is in the center, and we're going to start with the stem. So right in the center of my paper on the bottom, I'm going to draw a little curved line for the bottom of my stem, and then I'm going to bring it up almost halfway on my paper. So I drew another little curved line, and now I want to connect them. So I'm going to go from my line at the top down to my line at the bottom, and the same thing on the right hand side, line at the top to my line at the bottom. Now I have my first mushroom stem. I need to draw the mushroom cap, that's the top of the mushroom. So for the next step, we are going to draw an oval, and it's going to go from one side of our mushroom around to the other side of the mushroom. So I made 2 little lines so I know where I want to connect to, and I also know I want it to go up about that high. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go from the side up and around to that mark I made at the top, and back down and around. So this is the bottom part of our mushroom cap. Mushrooms are round, they have these dome tops. So I'm going to go from one side of my cap to the other, and I'm going to make a rainbow line to make the top of my mushroom. On the inside of my cap, I'm going to also add an extra oval. So just like we did before, from one side going to the other side, I'm going to make this oval shape again, but I'm making it smaller this time. So around and connect it. So we just made our first mushroom, and our point of view, we're looking at it from the ground and we're looking up and under. But next to it, we're going to have 2 smaller mushrooms. So on either side, what I'm going to do is draw a curved line with a rainbow line on top. And over here on the other side, a curved line with a rainbow line on top. So now I have 3 mushroom caps, but my little side mushrooms need stems as well. So I'm going to make a curved line and then connect it up to my cap. And over here on this side, on the right, a curved line and connect it to the cap. So now we have 1, 2, 3 mushrooms, but they look like they're just kind of floating. What we need to add next is the grass line. So starting over here on the side of my paper, I'm going to make a slightly wiggly line going all the way across, invisible drawing through my mushrooms to make a grass line. So now I've got 3 mushrooms that aren't floating anymore. Now that we've got our 3 mushrooms, we're ready to add a little bit of detail. So to this bottom part of my mushroom cap, what I want to do is draw some lines that are going from the stem to this outside line. So I'm going to go from the stem to the outside line, stem to the outside line, and keep doing that. Going all the way around. I also want to add some decorations to my mushroom caps. You could leave your mushroom caps just plain, but maybe your mushroom caps have stripes. If your mushroom caps have stripes, what you'll do is you'll follow that curve of your dome and make a bunch of curved lines across the top. So I made 1, 2, 3, 4. And on my 2 side mushrooms, I'm going to draw spots. And they're not going to be perfect circles. You could make just perfect circles, but my spots are going to be organic. That means they come from nature, so they're not perfect. They're kind of wavy circles. And I'm going to do the same thing to my mushroom cap over here on the left-hand side. And there we have it, artists. We have just drawn 3 mushrooms and decorated their caps. We are now done with our pencil. I'm going to set that to the side and we are ready to outline. So if you have your marker, you can use your marker. If not, you could use a crayon or colored pencil. Either is fine for outlining. Since I'm choosing to use a marker, I'm going to put my marker paper under my paper so I do not get marker on the table, and I am going to begin outlining, tracing my artwork. Good job, artists. We have just drawn 3 mushrooms and outlined them. At this point, you are ready to add any extra details and color. So if you want to leave your drawing like this and just begin coloring, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to add anything extra to your artwork, you could maybe draw any animals that are around your mushrooms. You could draw other flowers growing up behind your mushrooms. You could add extra details to your artwork. Or you may begin coloring. For my artwork, I'm going to use green for the grass, blue for the sky, and then I chose warm colors, red, orange, and yellow for my mushrooms. You could also choose browns. Sometimes mushrooms have a dark brown cap and a light brown stem, but you could use any colors you want on your mushrooms. You are the artist, be creative with it. So I'm ready to continue with coloring my artwork. There you have it, artists. We have just drawn an artwork with 3 mushrooms. My artwork turned out a little bit different than the worksheet from artprojectsforkids.org because I chose just to focus on the mushrooms and not the snail. My paper is also horizontal instead of vertical. As the artist, you're allowed to make changes to your artwork any way you want. I hope your mushrooms turned out excellent.